Hello students. So in today's class, I am going to discuss synopsis for chapter haloalkanes and haloarenes. So thank you for your wonderful response and some suggestions. So some students are asked to do the synopsis for organic chemistry chapters for PU2. So I'll take synopsis for haloalkanes and haloarenes in today's class. Okay. First, halogen derivatives. What are meant by halogen derivatives? So if you consider, we know that there are some hydrocarbons like alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes. And those alkenes, and alkynes in which one or more hydrogens are replaced by halogens, they are going to form the halogen derivative compounds. So one of the example is haloalkane. And if you consider aromatic hydrocarbon in which one or more hydrogens are replaced by halogen, again they are called as halogen derivatives in that haloarenes. So compounds derived from hydrocarbons by replacement of one or more hydrogen atoms by corresponding number of halogen atoms are known as halogen derivatives. Okay, let me go for the classification of halogen derivatives. First, we will discuss classification. So mainly, there are four different types of halogen derivatives. What are those four different types? Okay, first, alkyl halides. And you are familiar with this. Alkyl halides are formed by replacing one or more hydrogen atoms from alkanes. Then alkynyl halides. So these are formed from replacing one or more hydrogen atoms from halogens in alkenes. And the third one, alkynyl halides. And this is obtained from replacing one or more hydrogen atoms from alkyne, from halogens in alkyne group. Then aryl halides. So replacement of one or more hydrogen atoms by halogen groups in aromatic hydrocarbons are going to form aryl halides. And if you consider this alkyl halides, they are further classified into four different types. What are those four different types? Monohalide, then dihalides, tri as well as tetrahalides. So as the name itself indicates, this type of classification is based on number of halogen atoms that replaces hydrogen, number of hydrogen atoms in alkenes. If one halogen replaces one hydrogen, which is going to form monohalide. And if two hydrogen atoms are replaced by halogens, it is dihalide. Similarly, if three, then which is going to form trihalides. And if four halogen atoms are replaced the hydrogen atoms in alkane, which is going to form tetrahalides. And again, this monohalide is further classified into three types. What are those three types? Okay, let me consider. The first type is primary halide. Second one is secondary halide. And the third one is tertiary halide. And you are familiar with this type of classification also. So, based on the type of carbon atoms in which halogen is attached, whether the carbon is primary carbon, secondary carbon, and tertiary carbon. So, based on the type of carbon atom in which halogen is attached, again monohalides are further classified into primary halide, secondary halide, as well as tertiary halide. So, this is the brief classification of halogen derivatives. Okay, now let me go for monohalides. We'll consider monohalides. Okay, first we'll consider the general methods of preparation of monohalides. Methods of preparation. Okay, how we can prepare monohalides? So we are having a different methods of preparation. In that, the first one is by direct halogenation of alkanes. Direct halogenation of alkanes. So students, what is meant by halogenation? It is nothing but addition of halogen to alkane. So let me consider the general formula of alkanes, that is RH. Then we will consider halogen molecule. For example, we take a chlorine molecule. So this is on iterating with the in presence of light, that is the UV light. So here a replacement of halogen takes place. RCl, and the byproduct is HCl. So how this reaction we can easily remember means write alkanes like RH and halogen molecule like this. So in presence of UV light, so a replacement of hydrogen by chlorine takes place to give RCl with the liberation of HCl. So this is the first method, that is halogenation of alkanes. Then what's the second method of preparation of monohalides? So it is by the addition of HX on alkenes. By the addition of HX. What is meant by HX? It is hydrogen halides on alkenes. Okay, now we can take RCH double bond CHR, because the starting material will be alkenes here. So RCH double bond CHR on treating with HX, hydrogen halide. So which is going to form RCH2 CHXR, which means one of the halogen group in HX, which is attached to the carbon atom that is adjacent to double bond. Then to satisfy the valency of carbon, the hydrogen gets attached to the adjacent carbon atom. And here we can get monohalogen derivatives. Then let me consider some example here. So which is ethene. Ethene on treating with HCl, hydrogen chloride. So which is a symmetric type of molecule, hence there's no confusion. We can add hydrogen for any carbon atom and fluorine for any other carbon atom, that is adjacent carbon atom. So let me consider CH3 CH2X. So I have added hydrogen for this first carbon and chlorine for this second carbon. So there is no difference in these two carbon because it's a symmetric molecule of ethene. Then what is the condition if you consider asymmetric type? Let me consider asymmetric type of alkene like propene on treating with HBr. Okay, here hydrogen is attached to which carbon? Bromine is attached to which carbon? So it is based on Markovnikov rule. Okay, what is meant by Markovnikov rule? It states that during addition of hydrogen halide or in specific HBr to unsymmetrical alkene, the negative part of the adding molecule should be added to carbon that contains least number of hydrogen atom, and positive part of the adding molecule should be added to the carbon that contains more number of hydrogen atom around the double bond. So the addition of HBr to unsymmetrical alkenes follows based on Markovnikov rule. So by following this Markovnikov rule, the product obtained is CH3CH hex, that is Br group. Here the in HBr, which undergoes dissociation to give H plus and Br minus. The negative part should be added to carbon that contains least number of hydrogen around the double bond. And hydrogen, that is positive part, should be added to carbon that contains more number of hydrogen around the double bond, that is CH3. So which is 2-bromopropane. So this is the second type of preparation of monohalides, that is by the addition of HX on alkenes. Okay, let me go for the third one, which is important, that is by alcohols. Okay, we can prepare monohalides by alcohols, and there are number of different methods of preparation of monohalides from alcohols. In that first one, by the action of hydrogen halides, that is HX. So let me consider an example for alcohol like RCH2OH. The organic compound that contains OH group is known as alcohols. So RCH2OH on treating with hydrogen halide, that is HX. So here the product obtained is RCH2X. So this X group replaces OH group in this alcohol, and this OH minus group is attached to H plus of HX, which is going to form water molecule. And the second type by the alcohol, that is by the action of phosphorus halides. Action of phosphorus halides. So we have two different types of phosphorus halides, that is phosphorus trichloride as well as phosphorus pentachloride. Okay, let me consider here the first one, PCl5, that is phosphorus pentachloride. So alcohol on treating with phosphorus pentachloride, the replacement of OH group by Cl group takes place to give RCl, that is alkyl halide, then which gives a byproduct POCl3 and along with the liberation of HCl. Then if you consider PCl3, that is phosphorus trichloride, so we have to take 3 moles of alcohol, which is on treating with PCl3, which is going to form 3 moles of RCl, 3 moles of alkyl halides are formed. with the liberation of H3PO3. And here, why we have to take only phosphorus chloride, like phosphorus pentachloride and phosphorus trichloride? Because we have phosphorus tribromide, phosphorus triiodide, like that we have number of phosphorus halides. So compared to this phosphorus chlorides, phosphorus bromide and phosphorus iodides are least stable. They are least stable. So due to this less stable of PBr3 and PI3, PCl3 is preferred for the manufacture of alkyl halides. Now, so we can prepare alkyl halide from by alcohol from one more method, like by the reaction with thionyl chloride. By reaction with thionyl chloride. So what is the molecular formula of thionyl chloride? That is SOCl2. And this method of preparation is commercially known as Darzon's process. So remember the name, which is commercially known as the Darzon's process. Okay, alcohol on treating with the thionyl chloride SOCl2 in presence of a base like pyridine, so which is going to form RCl, that is alkyl halide, with the liberation of SO2 and HCl. Okay, so you have to remember one more thing. So in this type of preparation of alkyl halides from alcohols, among these three different methods, the third one is most preferred. That is, by the reaction of thionyl chloride is most preferred over by the action of HX as well as by the action of phosphorus halides. Why? What's the reason? So here, in Darzon's process, the byproducts formed like SO2 as well as HCl, both are present in the gaseous form. They can easily escape from the reaction condition, so that the mixtures can be easily separated. Hence, preparation of alkyl halides by alcohols in that by the reaction with thionyl chloride is most preferred type. Let me go for the next method of preparation, that is Borodin-Hunsdicker's reaction, or simply Hunsdicker's reaction. So this is the fourth method of preparation, Borodin-Hunsdicker's reaction. What is meant by this Hunsdicker's reaction or Borodin-Hunsdicker's reaction? Here, a silver salt of a fatty acid on treating with halogens in presence of carbon tetrachloride. So, it is going to form monohalogen derivatives. Okay, let me observe the reaction RCOOH, so which is a silver salt of fatty acids. That means silver salts of carboxylic acid and treating with halogen. So here chlorine as well as bromine is preferred on treating in presence of CCl4, that is carbon tetrachloride, which is going to form RX, that is alkyl halide, with the liberation of carbon dioxide and silver halide. So this is Borodin-Hunsdicker's reaction. Then let me consider the last method of preparation, that is by halide exchange reaction. halide exchange reaction. Okay. Here, so we have two different types of halide exchange reactions. The first one is Finkelstein reaction, or in specific, we can call it as Conant-Finkelstein reaction. Conant-Finkelstein reaction. What is meant by this Conant-Finkelstein reaction? So here, Finkelstein reaction can only be used to prepare alkyl iodide. So that in Finkelstein reaction, we can prepare alkyl iodide, not other alkyl halides, but we can prepare only alkyl iodide. Okay. RCl, that is alkyl chloride, on treating with, or we can also take RBr, alkyl bromide. So this is on treating with potassium iodide in presence of acetone, which gives Ri. That is just a replacement reaction takes place, that is exchange reaction, and which is going to liberate either KCl or KBr. If you consider KCl, RCl, which is going to form KCl. If you consider RBr, which is going to form KBr. So this is Finkelstein reaction. One more reaction, that is halide exchange reaction, is there, that is Schwarz reaction. What is meant by this Schwarz reaction? So in the above Finkelstein reaction, we can only be used to prepare alkyl iodide. But if you consider Schwarz reaction, which is used to prepare RF, it is alkyl fluorides. Schwarz reaction is used to prepare alkyl fluorides. So what is meant by this Schwarz reaction? So alkyl chloride or alkyl bromide and treating with metallic fluorides, which is going to form alkyl fluorides. Okay, so we'll consider methyl chloride. So in 2 moles of methyl chloride, I'm treating with the Hg2F2, mercurous fluoride in presence of water. So here halogen exchange takes place to give 2 molecules of CH3F, that is methyl fluoride, with the liberation of Hg2Cl2. So this is known as Schwarz reaction. So these are the methods of preparation of monohalides. Then we'll go for some properties like physical as well as chemical properties of monohalogen derivatives. So first I will consider physical properties. What are the important physical properties of monohalogen derivative? So here we have a lower members of monohalides. So what are those lower members of monohalides? That is CH3F, CH3Cl, CH3Br, or if you consider C2H5Cl or C2H5F. So these are the gases. They exist as gases at room temperature. And if you consider higher members, they exist as liquid at room temperature. And the second physical property, that is higher the boiling point than parent alkanes. So these monohalogen derivatives are having higher boiling point than respective parental alkanes or parent alkanes. And we can consider the decreasing order of boiling point, that is Ri, which is having highest boiling point than RBr, than RCl, than RF. And among isomeric alkyl halides, decreasing order of boiling point is. So among isomeric alkyl halides, like I will consider RX, decreasing order of boiling point is. So if you consider isomeric alkyl halide, decreasing order is primary alkyl halide, which is having more boiling point than secondary, than tertiary. So this is the boiling point, decreasing order of boiling point of hydro alkyl halides. And if you consider the density, so what is the order of density? Okay, I'll write decreasing order of density of alkyl halides. So here Ri having more density than RBr, than RCl, than RF. And you know that density is nothing but ratio of mass by volume. So as we move down the group, the halogen group, the molar mass of those halogen increases. So that density also increases down the group. And the next physical property. So here, if you consider alkyl halides are polar covalent compounds. Alkyl halides are polar covalent compounds. What is meant by polar covalent compounds? If you consider RX group, in which R group that carries a partial positive charge, and X, we know that, which is an partial negative charge. So RX group is considered as polar covalent compound, but it is insoluble in water. So which is insoluble in water. Why? What's the reason? Because they cannot form hydrogen bonding. They cannot form hydrogen bonding. Hence, they are insoluble in water. Then, in which solvents these alkyl halides are going to dissolve? That is, they are dissolved in organic solvents. So, although these alkyl halides are polar covalent compounds, they are insoluble in water because they cannot form hydrogen bonding, but they are soluble in organic solvents. Then, if you consider one more important physical property, alkyl halides except alkyl fluorides burns with green flame. So any type of alkyl halide you will consider except the alkyl fluoride. All those remaining alkyl halides burns with the green flame when interacted with copper wire. So what's the name of the test? It is Beilstein test. Only exception is alkyl fluoride. And one more important physical property, that is dipole moment order, or order of dipole moment. What is the order of dipole moment? So here if you consider CH3Cl, which is having more dipole moment than CH3F, than CH3Br, than CH3I. So here we'll get confusion, like CH3F would be having more dipole moment than CH3Cl, but due to some reasons like smaller size of fluorine and all, CH3Cl is having more dipole moment than CH3CF. Then it follows the regular trend, CH3Br greater than CH3I. Then let me discuss some chemical properties of alkyl halides. Chemical properties. So in chemical properties, first we'll consider nucleophilic substitution reaction. So nucleophilic substitution reaction is simply represent as SN, nucleophilic substitution reaction. Now here I'll explain nucleophilic substitution reaction by taking a help of flow chart like Rx, that is alkyl halides. So we'll consider a replacement of and the product obtained. Okay, if you consider alkyl halides, which is on treating with water, boiling water, then the replacement of X by OH group takes place to give ROH, that is alcohol with the liberation of HX, hydrogen halide. Then the same alkyl halide on treating with KOH, potassium hydroxide, aqueous medium. So a replacement of halogen group by OH group takes place again. So which is going to form alcohol with the liberation of potassium halide. And if you consider alkyl halides and treating with moist Ag2O, so silver oxide, replacement of X by OH group takes place here also, which is going to form same, that is alcohol with the liberation of silver halide. Then, so alkyl halides are treating with the KSH, alcoholic medium. So replacement of X by SH group, which is going to form RSH with the liberation of KX. So here the name of this compound is alkane thiol. Alkane thiol, which is commercially known as mercaptan. So remember the molecular formula, that is RSH, which is alkane thiol, or which is commercially known as mercaptan. RX group on treating with NaSR dash. So replacement of X by SR dash group, which is going to form RSR dash. So what's the name of this compound? It's thioether. So sulfur is present instead of oxygen in ether formula ROR dash. So that the name is thioether with the liberation of sodium halide. Then same alkyl halides and treating with RCOO, that is R dash COOH, silver salts of fatty acids. So replacement of X by R dash COO group, that is carboxylate group, is going to form R dash COO R with the liberation of silver halide. And what is the name of this compound? It's the general formula of ester. So these are some of the important nucleophilic substitution reaction that includes the alkyl halides. Then we'll go for some more nucleophilic substitution reaction. There are number of nucleophilic substitution reactions are there. The next type is a reaction with potassium cyanide, that is KCN, and AgCN, silver cyanide. What happens here? Here we consider RX. So alkyl halides and treating with KCN, that is in alcoholic potassium cyanide medium. So we know that here KCN is an ionic compound which K carries positive charge and Cn carries negative charge. And similarly, so here it's completely ionic. We can write complete negative as well as positive charge. But if you consider RX group, it's an covalent compound, but still which consists of partial positive and partial negative charge. So which is going to form R C triple bond N plus RNC plus KX. So which is going to form cyanide as well as isocyanide, going to form mixture of compound. But in this reaction, cyanide product is major while isocyanide product is minor. Then if you consider AgCN, so here Cn that carries negative charge and which consists of two lone pair electrons. So Cn ion is an ambidentate nucleophile. Ambidentate nucleophile. So remember this note point, because so Cn minus acts as ambidentate nucleophile. Ambidentate means either nitrogen acts as donor atom or carbon acts as donor atom. So that if you consider RX group, it's having delta negative and delta positive charge plus and treating with AgCN, alcoholic medium. So here nitrogen attached to alkyl group. Then the product obtained is Rn triple bond C plus RCN plus AgX. So it is also going to form cyanide as well as isocyanide. But here, in case of AgCN, isocyanide product is major while cyanide product obtained is minor. Similarly, one more nucleophilic substitution reaction is there, that is a reaction with KNO2 and AgNO2. So here you consider alkyl halide and treating with KNO2. Let me consider that as ionic form, like KONO. So here also in the above reaction, AgCN acts as covalent while KCN acts as ionic. Similarly, here KNO2, which is an ionic, and AgNO2, which is acts as covalent compound. So here K that carries positive charge and oxygen carries negative charge in alcoholic medium, which is going to form RON double bond O. plus with the liberation of RnO2 and potassium halide. So here alkyl nitrite. So major compound obtained is alkyl nitrite, while nitroalkane, which is a minor compound or minor product. Then the same alkyl halides on treating with AgNO2, AgON, which carries lone pair electrons O, which acts as covalent compound here. So here it is ionic. So due to its covalent nature, the lone pair electron grabbed by the alkyl group of alkyl halide, which is going to form RnO double bond O, that is nitroalkane, which is major product here, and RON double bond O, that is alkyl nitrite, which is minor product here, which is going to liberate AgX, that is silver halide. So these two reactions, nucleophilic substitution reactions, are very important. Then the next type of nucleophilic substitution reaction, that is a reaction with NaOR dash. What is meant by this NaOR dash? So the name of this compound is sodium alkoxide. Okay, the reaction with sodium alkoxide. So alkyl halide on treating with sodium alkoxide, which is going to form ether or OR dash with the liberation of NaX. And you are familiar with the reaction. This reaction is commercially known as Williamson's ether synthesis. Williamson's ether synthesis. So ROR dash with the liberation of NaX, which is going to form ether. Then the next reaction is a reaction with ammonia. What happens when it reacts with ammonia? Let me consider. RX, alkyl halide, on treating with ammonia. On heating, which is going to form RNH2, that is primary amine. This is on again treating with one more alkyl halide. So one more hydrogen is replaced by R group, that is RNH R dash, which is secondary amine, which is further treating with one more RX group, R double dash X. One more hydrogen is replaced by R group, that is RN R dash R double dash. That is tertiary. So this is primary amine, secondary amine, tertiary amine. So which is on further treating with one more RX group, which is going to form R dash, R double dash, R triple dash, and X minus. Here nitrogen carries positive and X carries negative. So this is known as quaternary ammonium salt. Quaternary ammonium salt. And the last nucleophilic substitution reaction, that is a reaction with CH triple bond CNA. So it is a salt formed from alkyne. So RX, alkyl halide, on treating with the CH triple bond CNA. on heating, which is going to form RC triple bond CH. It is alkyne with the liberation of sodium halide. And here, if you consider the second case, that is tertiary halide, like CH3, CH3, CH3. So tertiary halide, if you consider, and treating with CH triple bond CNA. We know that among hydrocarbons, alkyne, in which it acts as acid, it shows acidic nature. And this is on heating, gives CH3, C double bond CH2, CH3 with the liberation of NaX and CH triple bond CH. So here elimination is preferred. Elimination is more preferred. So these are all the nucleophilic substitution reaction of alkyl halide. Let me consider the next type of chemical properties, that is dehydrohalogenation. Second physical chemical property, dehydrohalogenation. What is dehydrohalogenation? In simple, removal of both hydrogen and halogen takes place. And one more important point you have to remember, in some cases, in some competitive exams, they are asked which is the dehydrohalogenating agent, which is also known as beta elimination. So alcoholic KOH or in sometimes sodium, that is sodamide. These acts as dehydrohalogenating agent. Let me consider here RCH2 CH2X plus KOH, alcoholic. So beta elimination takes place here. If you consider the carbon which consists of any functional group is known as alpha and the adjacent is beta. And here RCH double bond CH2 plus HX. So hydrogen has to be removed from beta carbon atom. Hence it is also known as beta elimination reaction. Similarly, if you consider an example, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH2Br. So bromobutane on treating with alcoholic potassium hydroxide. So which is beta carbon here? It's an alpha, the first one, and it is beta, gamma, delta, so on. So this is on heating in presence of alcoholic potassium hydroxide. Beta elimination takes place to give CH3, CH2. The hydrogen has to be removed from beta carbon atom. So CH, CH, double bond CH2 with the liberation of HBr. This is the product. It is butene. And let me consider one specific example here. CH3, CH, CH, Br, and here we have H, CH2, like CH3. This is on treating with alcoholic potassium hydroxide. Okay, here the functional or substituent group attached carbon is said to be alpha, and the adjacent carbon is said to be beta. There are two beta carbons are there. So in the previous example, we have only one beta carbon, and here in this example, we have two beta carbon. So in beta elimination, hydrogen has to be removed from, or in beta elimination, hydrogen has to be removed from the carbon that contains least number of hydrogen atom. So that HBr is to be removed from here, which is going to form CH3CH double bond CH3. So but2ene, and one more type of product is going to form, that is CH3CH2CH double bond CH2, but1ene or butene. But but2ene is major and but1ene is minor, and with the liberation of the byproduct HBr takes place. So we'll explain one more time. Here, in case of beta elimination or dehydrohalogenation, so the removal of that hydrogen atom takes place from the carbon that contains least number of hydrogen atom. So we'll have two different examples. Okay. Similar to the Markovnikov rule, here I have given one statement like during beta elimination or dehydrohalogenation, hydrogen has to be removed from carbon atom that contains least number of hydrogen. So what's the name of the statement? That is Zaitsev rule. So spelling may be different from different textbook. It is also called as Zaitsev rule. So all are same. Let me go for the next type of chemical reaction, that is third chemical property, Woods reaction. So I think you are familiar with Woods reaction. When two alkyl halides are treating with the sodium metal, so I will write like this, it will be helpful for you. Two alkyl halides are treating with the sodium metal in presence of dry ether, so which is going to form higher alkanes, or R dash, let me consider this R dash X, with the liberation of two molecules of NaX. So when a mixture of different alkyl halides are used, then a mixture of different alkane is formed. Okay, now the fourth chemical property, that is formation of organometallic compounds. Formation of organometallic compounds. In that we have three different reactions, like alkyl halides are treating with magnesium metal in presence of dry ether, which is going to form a specific type of compound like RMgX. And you are familiar with the formula. RMgX is known as Grignard reagent. Grignard reagent. Similarly, the second reaction, like when 2C2H5Br, ethyl bromide, 2 moles of ethyl bromide, on treating with the 2 atoms of zinc metal in presence of the same condition like dry ether, which is going to form C2H5 twice Zn, diethyl zinc, with the liberation of zinc bromide. And the third reaction, that is formation of organic organometallic compounds. If you use 4 moles of ethyl chloride and treating with the 4 atoms of sodium or lead, which is going to form C2H5 4 times Pb plus 4 NaCl plus 3 Pb. So here it is going to form tetraethyl lead. And this tetraethyl lead is used as anti-knocking agent. Tetraethyl lead, which is used as anti-knocking agent. So here we are going to use sodium lead alloy in the reaction, which is going to form a specific type of compound, that is tetraethyl lead, which used as anti-knocking agent. And the next chemical property here is fifth chemical property, Friedel-Crafts reaction. If you consider Friedel-Crafts reaction, you have to take aromatic compound like benzene and treating with methyl chloride CH3Cl in presence of chlorinating agent like AlCl3, it is anhydrous form, and which is going to form methyl benzene, which is also known as toluene, with the liberation of HCl molecule. So this is about the methods of preparation, physical properties and chemical properties of monohalides. Okay, students, in the next class, I'm going to discuss the remaining concepts like dihalides, trihalides, as well as aromatic halides. Thank you. And if this video is helpful, please like, share, and please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.